Hi there. Hi, and welcome to another episode of UMO.Designs, a design dialogue series. I am Shamasundar Durisitti, co-founder UMO.Design and co-chair Content UXIndia conference. For this episode, it's my pleasure to introduce Kim Heilman, our speaker at the upcoming UXIndia 2021 Design Conference. All right. Hey, Kim. It's great to have on UMO.Designs, a design dialogue series. UMO Design community is delighted to learn more from you in the lead up to UXIndia Conference 2021. So you have played a variety of roles on the design spectrum as a designer, manager, leader, mentor. My God, you played so many roles, including as an entrepreneur, right? So our design community will be looking up to you for inspiration in terms of their practice and in helping themselves grow in their careers, right? So to start with, let's talk about the big shift that we're all seeing because of whatever is happening to all of us over the last couple of years, almost close to 18 months and more. Yeah. We are seeing so much of acceleration and transformation in all aspects of our lives. So can you please share your thoughts on the big shift and the role of design as you see it?
Absolutely. Yes, thank you. I believe that our skills are now needed more than ever. Designers bring cross-functional partners together, and we do this, in workshops and in design sprints. And I think during work from home over the last 18 months, we've demonstrated that we can do this with teams when they're 100% remote. It used to be that there was this sense that we all had to be in the same room together in order to really get into the creative process. But I think what we've shown is that we are capable of supporting this across distributed teams and 100% remotely.
Awesome. So would you like to drill a little bit deep as in, so what's happening with this is we are seeing a lot of changes in the processes that we are adopting, be it in terms of culture, in terms of the way we practice design, geo-distributed teams and all those things. So are you seeing any of these changes in your current role? And how are you riding this wave?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to say on just fundamentally that one-on-ones are more important than ever. It's important that we invest in relationships with individual team members, with our team, with our stakeholders, of course, also with our users. And it's through having these more personal, sort of personally flavored relationships that I think that we are able to then build the trust and credibility that can allow us to work together quickly and deliver high quality products.
Okay, cool. So the next area of focus is, I know that in the Bay Area, we're all focused on the tech, and there are so many companies that are trying to create a lot of impact on so many domains and so many aspects of our lives. And then you yourself have worked across a variety of companies, creating impact, be it Salesforce, Google, and whatnot, right? So what do you think some of the interesting areas of focus for the upcoming designers? And then are there any interesting opportunities because of the big shift?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that designers are going to have more and more opportunities regardless of their physical location. And that there's a shift going on, at least in the large companies where I've worked recently, where there's a growing awareness that we need to be very, very sensitive of time zones. And that folks who might have previously considered themselves to be in the headquarters in one time zone actually need to expand that definition and their working hours to be more flexible so that they can have the best collaboration with teams around the world. And that's something that we're definitely seeing more and more of. In terms of other advice for students, I would say that, there are so many disciplines within UX design today, and that people often specialize. They find their niche and they really try to dial it in and specialize. But I think my broader advice would be that you should always stay curious about the larger design community. If you're a product designer, be curious about environmental design. If you specialize in communication design and marketing, challenge yourself about technical architecture and developer tools. If you're an enterprise designer, make sure you have opportunities to practice visual design and branding, even if it's outside of your regular work, because all of that is going to help contribute to your holistic understanding of how the design process basically benefits a wide variety of functions. So keeping in mind, I think all along that AI advances are also going to bring automation to many workflows within discrete design processes. So having this holistic view can help you anticipate these advances.
It's interesting that you did touch upon students. Even before the pandemic, I think there's a perception that there is a gap between industry and educational institutions, academia, the way they teach, and the fact that students coming out of the schools might not be at a stage wherein they can start to contribute to the industry from the days onwards, right? So with this big shift, do you see this gap widening, or any thoughts on education versus academia as we see in design?
Yeah. Oh, that's a wonderful question. I mean, I think that students are always like at the forefront because they have been exposed to the most contemporary tools in most cases, and their focus is on learning the tools. And so, for people who are in the industry, they are often, challenged to learn an entire new set of tools every few years. And so I think that that's where there's a real advantage. I think that also that one of the roles of academia is to introduce students to the full spectrum of user design and research practices. And I mean, to this end, I think the designers in India actually have a great advantage because you already have empathy for complex multilingual audiences who span the socioeconomic spectrum. And I think academia can help leverage this perspective while introducing design and research fundamentals.
Awesome. Now that you're kind of touching upon folks in India, so I would like to get a sneak peek into what you're going to talk about as a part of your topic at the conference. So any high-level overview of your topic at the conference that you're going to share?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, sure. Absolutely. So at the conference, I'll be talking about how to collaborate with and design for a variety of different stakeholders and audiences, and also how to measure the effectiveness of a design solution, especially when you have competing interests, whether they are competing interests between stakeholders or whether you're challenged to design for really complex multiple audience segments. So I'll be touching a bit on that. We are all familiar with very common success metrics like MAU, monthly active users, or sales funnel conversion. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about those, but then also about other metrics that are relevant when you're launching a net new product that doesn't necessarily have a lot of data behind it yet, or when you're building internal tools, kind of like what I do now at Google.
Awesome. So any final thoughts on UXIndia and then what we are doing so far? How is your experience been in partnering with us, and what do we look forward to?
Oh, I have enjoyed collaborating with UXIndia in the past. A few years ago, I was very fortunate to be asked to be a judge for some of the new products that were being brought to market, and it was just so thrilling to see such a wide variety of experiences, just beautifully crafted with such strong voices, and really loved that. And I think this year, I feel very privileged to be able to give a longer talk. So with that, I'll see you there.
Well, thanks, Kim, for sparing your time and sharing your thoughts with our community. We look forward to your talk at UXIndia 2021. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much for your time.